So you're buying a home and you have Form 810. Why do you have to sign it and what does it mean? In this video, I'll explain.
Hi, Nick here, and today I am explaining the Working with a Realtor form, that's OREA Form 810, that we use in the province of Ontario whenever you buy, sell, or rent a residential property. So this is a one-page form. It's very simple and straightforward, but I'm going to go through it in detail to make sure that you understand it because you are signing it. It is important, and I want to make sure that, that you know what you're signing. So the first bit is the realtor-consumer relationship. So this simply spells out that realtors work with brokerages in the province of Ontario. Whether that brokerage is a sole, one-person tiny brokerage, or whether it's something like me and the team, we work under Royal LePage Performance Realty. When you work with us, you're actually a client of the brokerage in a legal sense. Anytime you work with a realtor, you're a client of their brokerage and not with them individually. But that said, we're really the face of the whole purchase or sale for you. So that sets that out. That's the first bit. The second part is what it means to be a client. Now, a client relationship is the highest form of relationship that a realtor can have with you. It means that we have to represent your interests first and foremost in a transaction. So if you're a seller and a buyer comes, we are not allowed to disclose what price you're willing to accept, or because buyers and their agents ask us all the time, well, how low do you think that the seller will go? We are not allowed to tell them that unless you have told us in writing in some form that we are allowed to have that conversation. What else? If you're a buyer on the other side, we're not allowed to disclose to a seller what price you're willing to pay for a house if you really love a house, or your motivation for moving, that kind of stuff. We're not supposed to undermine your bargaining position, and client relationship is how we do that. You can also be represented as a customer instead. This most often happens when a buyer is looking to buy a home, air quotes, unrepresented, and they go call the sign that's out in front of a house. So they talk to the listing agent. Listing agent agrees to write an offer, but they are going to do so representing you as a customer. So they already have a client duty to their seller. So anything you tell them will be as a customer, and they have to disclose it to their seller. They owe their first duty to them, not to you. They have to treat you fairly and honestly. They still have to disclose the same things about the house if there are defects about the house, but just know that we are obligated to disclose your motivations and things like that we might learn about you. What else would I say about that? It doesn't happen often that buyers or sellers are represented as customers, and our team basically never does it. We work with our clients as clients, generally speaking. There's the odd time where it makes more sense to do it the other way, but that's what we do. Then what happens when buyer and seller are both represented by the same brokerage? Well, that's called multiple representation. So when a brokerage, not just an individual agent, represents both sides of a purchase, we have to take special steps to disclose that relationship is happening. First of all, that we're taking special steps to make sure that nobody's bargaining position is being undermined. And mostly it boils down to being very transparent. There's certain rules about how notices are sent back and forth. And we'll get into that more detail in one of the future videos here. And then last of all, critical information. No matter how you interact with a realtor, we are obligated to disclose critical information about a house. This might be defects that you might not be immediately aware of when you look at the house, but we have been made aware of, such as, a past flood in a house or something like that. So we have a duty to treat you fairly and honestly, no matter what relationship we have with you. Now, like I said, this is a one-page form. At the bottom of it, you're going to have your full legal names. That's why we have James and Pamela, Halpert and Beasley here, not Jim and Pam. Whether you're a seller, you'd initial and sign the left side. If you're a buyer, you'd initial and sign the right side. And that simply goes in your file and just shows us that you understand these relationships. So that's the first form, and I hope you found it useful.